The Muslims are trained into thinking that we are going to backtrack to get the true knowledge. Backtrack to where? Well, most of the Muslims believe we backtrack to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying that once you, O people who are standing in front of me, when you are going to give this message to the people in the far ends of the world, and when they're going to have babies and they're going to grow up and their next generations are going to come about, those people are going to understand my message better than you standing right in front of me. You teenagers, I'm speaking to you right now. You are the next generation. This gave birth to the idea of source code. This hadith gave birth to the conception of estimating the vastness of the potential of human beings.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।
कैसे हैं आप सर?
Please, let's begin the session. Let's
सर
first and foremost, जी बेटा अभी रुक जाए जी, first and foremost, we are going to first assemble everyone. Wait for everyone to join in because there's a lot of people WhatsApping me right now, and still the word joining is coming into my screen, so I don't know why everyone has not joined yet. I cannot see them in my participant list. They're still joining. And there's certain people in the waiting room. Before we begin, let's get everybody in the out of the waiting room. Gee. So what we'll do is we'll first and foremost set the basic orientation of the session. This session is going to go on with me describing the purpose of the whole mission called source code, then the purpose of this program, then the purpose of holding this orientation session. There are the three things I'm going to describe. I'm going to describe some expectations that we have from you and your parents. And then we are going to take expectations or your purpose of coming into this program. Okay? So this is how we're going to run this basic orientation session. I'm going to give you the map of why we're here, what's going to happen. I'm going to give you the categories of the programs which we will do inside the mission, the purpose of this course. First, we'll begin with the purpose of source code. Why did we start source code? Many moons ago, we actually set up to gather everyone as much as we can who thought and felt the same way about whatever the human population is going about, and we wanted to fix the way human beings are behaving around this concept of life, purpose of life, and the afterlife. Most of the human beings generally do not actually believe in the concept of afterlife. If they actually believed in the concept of afterlife, they would not have been behaving the way they are behaving. So that was the motion, the thought that set everything in motion. And we started gathering up people. And then we started gathering up experts who could design the instruments required to carve the strategy, the plan, the execution, the operations of achieving this purpose. So what was the purpose? The purpose was to get everybody together and set the right rhythm in motion for all human beings, especially Muslims, to come about, straighten their act, and do whatever is necessary to make sure that this does not happen again, which is happening for the last 1200 years after the Prophet ﷺ gave this whole throne to the Muslims and set all of the Muslims to their tasks to make sure that everyone in the world is not only aware, but is skilled and competent to achieve this very purpose. The last sermon of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stood on the pulpit in the Kaaba and he said, "O people, have I given you the message in its full?" And people said, "Yes, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have given us the message of Allah Azza wa Jalla." And then he said, "Go and spread this message to the people who are not here. Go to the ends of the world and spread this message to them and their next generations." And then he said the most interesting thing. He opened the doors of every avenue of knowledge and potential of human beings. Those two things you must understand. And he said, "Go and spread this message to the end of the world, all ends of the world, and to the people of the next generations of those people who you're going to reach." Because he said, and you must listen to this, he said, "For when you are going to give this message to them," listen carefully, he said, "For when you are going to give this message of mine to them, they will understand this message better than you standing right in front of me." This opens the biggest avenues of human potential. This changes everything, the way we think about how knowledge is supposed to come about. Because Muslims are trained into thinking that we are going to backtrack to get the true knowledge. Backtrack to where? Well, most of the Muslims believe we backtrack to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying that once you, O people who are standing in front of me, when you are going to give this message to the people in the four ends of the world, and when they're going to have babies and they're going to grow up and their next generations are going to come about, those people are going to understand my message better than you standing right in front of me. His exact words are that the listener will understand my message better than the speaker, ye, who stands before me. This gave birth to the idea of source code. This hadith gave birth to the conception of estimating the vastness of the potential of human beings. You teenagers, I'm speaking to you right now, you are the next generation of those people who are claiming to carry the message of the Prophet. The scholars who think, and they most of the time are right, that they have preserved the knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ in its most pristine form. I'll give them that. दे देते उनको ये बेनिफिट ऑफ द डाउट भी दे देते हैं कि हम तक अल्लाह और उसके रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम का पैगाम उन्होंने प्रिस्टीन परफेक्ट हालत के अंदर हमें पहुंचा दिया। मगर अल्लाह के नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने क्या इरशाद फरमाया कि वो लोग जो भी आने वाले हैं वो मेरा पैगाम तुम लोगों से भी बेहतर समझ लेंगे जो मेरे सामने खड़े हो। So we were given this bashara, this glad tiding that the future will bring about the knowledge in human beings which is going to decode and decipher what is coded in the Quran. For this knowledge was not available at that time. Human beings had not spent enough time on the Quran at that time. Now We have spent enough time in mathematics and physics and chemistry and biology, astronomy, geology, biology, ecology. Wherever the Quran is inviting human beings to come and understand this book, decipher it. So we have split this whole course, this teenage mentorship program, into 4 categories of the Quran. We actually split everything in IMS and source code into these 4 categories. You, however, will be given tasks and projects, trainings and teaching during this whole course based on those 4 categories, which we will tell you, don't worry. During this whole course, we're going to enter the details of the 4 categories, because when we backtrack of what's going on in the Quran says that we have sent amongst you a prophet who is going to do 4 things in front of you. He is going to decipher all the ciphers that we have put inside the Quran. The word cipher in English is translated into Arabic, which is called the ayah. So this Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to yatlu alayhim ayat. He's going to decipher all of those ayats, all the ciphers that we put inside the Quran. Why did Allah Azza wa Jal put the ciphers? We will talk about that in detail in this course. And you will be given the tasks to decipher it. We'll train you how to do that, don't worry. The second thing, Allah Azza wa Jal says that this man, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is going to yuzakkihim. You are going to be purified and cleansed through him. Then he is going to do what? Yu'allimuhumul kitab. He is going to explain to you the law, the system, the policy, and the procedures. And then what is he going to do? He is going to present the hikmah, the bigger strategy of how to go about in putting this whole purpose into play. And that's what we're going to try and train you to understand how to look at global problems, how to look at the top problem of the next 100 years. You're going to forecast them right now in this course, and you're going to try and solve them by bringing about solutions, and coming about that level of competence to understand that this is what you're going to do. See, the difference between you and me is that I can see the future, but I can see that I'm not going to be there. I can see the problems, but I can see that I won't be able to solve them because I do not have enough time. I'm not going to be there. I can see the solutions, but I can see that I'm not going to be there to solve any of these problems. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all of these 3 things, inshallah, because you are gifted. You are given this biggest, majestic gift of time. आपके पास वो चीज है जो कि किसी और इंसान के पास इस वक्त नहीं, और वो है वक्त. Inshallah, you're going to grow into the competence, and you're going to grow into the insight. आप लोग उस बसारत और बसीरत दोनों के साथ, फहम और हिकमा दोनों के साथ एंटर होंगे in the next 100 years, where you are going to solve and help other people solve the problems of the next 2 generations. If you go to our website, www.sourcecode.academy, you'll see the 100-year plan. You are the 100-year plan. You'll see all the detail. सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी और central course है हमारा, the Teenage Mentorship Program. You, my children, you are the 100-year plan for source code. So we need you to become as competent as the problems require a Muslim to be as soon as the problems require you to be, as the solutions require you to be, sorry. And we have very big problems. We have the biggest problems. I can see the tornado. I can see the tsunami. I can see it. I'll show you how to look at it. And I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to draw it in front of you. I'm going to explain to you how it's going to kill and devastate and destroy everything that you possibly can like or love. I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to explain to you of why, and I'm going to train you into why you should be feeling every bit of pain to take this seriously. Take yourself seriously. I know that you are going to take your time because you are in that age where you yourself are thinking that you are the bigger problem of your own house right now, or your house is the biggest problem for you right now. Some of you guys will have mommies fighting with daddies. Some of you guys will have daddy's not even in the homes. Mommy's talking about why he's not home, giving you different versions of why he's never home. Some of you guys have siblings who are overshadowing you, and you're thinking you're the least favorite of the house. Some of you guys think you are the only person who can think inside the house. Everyone else is wrong. Everybody else is evil at some, and some of you guys are thinking you are evil. Most of you guys will be thinking that your problems are the biggest problems in the planet. At this time, maybe they are the biggest problem for you. You will have self-esteem issues. You will have traumas. You will have love flowing through your siblings, which will be isolating you and your siblings around your friends and classmates. And you can't understand why. Some of you guys will have more friends and more love with friends than your own siblings, and you can't understand why. Some of you guys are your daddy's favorites. Some of you guys don't like your daddy. Some of you guys have issues you can't even explain to me or anybody else in the world. You think no one's going to be able to solve them because you just are that unique. And I'm not saying, you know what, you're making up all of this stuff. I'm too old and too wise, so I'll tell you I'm going to burst your bubble. No, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right about all or whatever you think. Maybe you have the biggest trauma in the world. Maybe you are the unluckiest one in the world. Maybe you are right about everything that you thought about, even for the solutions of what you think your family needs. I don't know. I don't know anything about you. I don't take wild guesses, throwing darts and drawing targets around wherever my dart hits the wall. I'm not that guy. I'm going to talk to you. I am going to talk to you in detail, in groups and in solitude, one-on-one, some 3 or 4, maybe 5 a group of 5, maybe a group of 20 sometimes, but I'm going to be talking to you. And I'm going to be discussing things from different angles. But my solution is only going to come from the Quran. I'm telling you this right now. Some of you maybe have a problem with the way you think about God or the Quran. I don't know. We'll talk about this. But I am going to put everything on display. I'm going to tell you this right now. As soon as we're going to solve a problem, we're going to present it to the world so that kids your age or people who are going to be coming after 100 years from now, they'd have evidence as to how we solved the problem, how we carried that dialogue. We are going to talk about everything. No bars held. Everything. I am going to act, and I'm going to show you like a father does to his children. I am going to do everything in my power to make sure that you understand how to look at this book called the Quran. I'm going to show you all the angles of looking at the word called Sira. I want to show you the most fascinating angles to looking at the word knowledge. But you are going to show me the most exciting angle of looking at the word potential. All you have to do is talk. Whatever you're thinking, just say it. That's all you have to do. And even if you can't do that, you're too shy, don't worry, I'm going to come to you myself. This is exactly the kind of problem some people face and they just get overlooked. I'm not one of those guys. This program is too detailed. Unless your mommy and your daddy are your own problem of you coming into the class, I am going to talk to you. I'm going to get you. And I'm going to get to that problem that you're suffering. You think you're suffering. Well, maybe you are actually suffering from it. We're going to solve that problem, inshallah. Because I need more Muslims performing. Because in the last generation, nobody performed. Nobody performed. Now, it could be a million reasons. It could be none. Could be one. Could be some. I don't care. They're gone. Most of them are dead. People are alive, worse than dead. You see Palestine and Sudan. You see Pakistan, India. You see, they're worse than dead. So the last generations, they failed miserably. And that, to a low self-esteem, would be an excuse not to perform because, hey, you know what? If my mommy and daddy were failures, I was given this bad hand, I was dealt this bad hand, how am I going to win this? So I've got an excuse not to perform. No, that's actually an excuse, one more reason to perform. Because the team needs you. Team Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam needs you. Team Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam needs you. More than that, you need Team Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You need that way more than the team. And even if you don't need the team and the team does not need you, and even if you both need each other the same way, Islam does not need you. You need Islam. You need to understand that. That's why we need performance. We need stars. We need competent Muslims, girls and boys, coming together. Because Islam is not a solo sport. Islam is a team sport. Write that down. Islam is not an individual sport. It's not squash or swimming. It is not going to the gym. No. Islam is a team sport. We have dependencies. We're depending on you. Right now, I'm depending on you. And last year, 450,000 Palestinians were depending on you. You didn't know that. They were depending on me and my contemporaries and elders. They all failed those Palestinians. Next time, when you're going to be my age or less, some Muslim, one or many, will be dependent on you. And I don't want you to go through the same depression, agony, and misery of not competent enough, not being competent enough. I don't want you to go through that pain. It's going to kill you. It's going to break you. I swear to God, it's going to break you. The way it broke every conscious Muslim in my age. For the last 10 years, I've been trying to wake up the Pakistani Indian Muslims to come into some kind of power so that we can influence these goons who are sitting on top of us. For the last 4 years, I've been crying on TV, literally crying, begging, literally begging Muslims to go to the masjid, come to power, come together, going all over the world, in all big cities, crying, begging, trying to argue, win arguments, convince, throw in inspiration. Sometimes just yell, panic, just come together, perform, bring in the money, bring in the science, bring in the politics. Kids are dying. I'm going to every city as much as I can. They strip me off of any kind of possibility to travel anymore. I can't even travel out of certain cities, let alone countries now. This war is real. This war is so real, if I explain to you, you won't even play. So you are my only hope. You are the plan. Everybody who's my age, everyone is the problem. You are going to solve that problem. It's not the Netanyahus or the Trumps or the Obamas or the Tony Blairs. No, no. It's the Muslims you're going to solve. They're going to give you the biggest problem. You need to come into competence. I'm going to show you how. Can't make you competent. I'm sorry. You got to do it yourself. Can't do this in secret. We don't hide anything. We got nothing to hide. So we got to come together and perform openly. Girls can't be shy anymore. Sorry. Boys cannot be lone rangers. This is not the place where you play alphas. You play a team every time. Make everybody else win. That's what a team is. You got to solve this problem. Only you are going to solve this problem. Sorry. I apologize. We should have done some of the work, if not most of it. We didn't do any. We did not do any. So you're going to do all. I'm sorry. I'm not going to show you pictures of our failures. You can see that on the internet. Little kids dead, raped and killed. You know, you've seen them. And what are the Muslims doing? They're crying about football right now. They're crying about how Egypt should have won from Argentina. That's what they're crying about. That's what the Muslims are crying about. That's how dense they are. That's how dense they are. That's how evil they are. If half the Muslims had cried about Palestine the way they're crying about Egypt losing football, we could have saved at least a few more children in Palestine. The kind of money they spent on football, if they had spent, those Egyptians, who actually are the reasons why Palestinians actually died. They shut down Palestine so that the Palestinians couldn't run away. So they made a little jail cell for the Israelis to come and devour my kids. That's what's going on. So this is real. This is so real. Can't explain it. I do not have words to explain how real this is. So you got to perform them. You're my only hope. So this is the purpose of this program. This is the only purpose of this program. One man hoping, looking for bright potential in a girl or a boy, thinking she's going to write that paper for mathematics or physics. or invent that one product or invention that's going to change the world so that we can bring in the brains and the influence, or write that article on politics. It's going to influence the foreign policy, or make that product or service for a business which is going to bring in the money. I don't know. We're going to look at all of you guys and see what kind of potential you guys have, but you got to perform in all four flanks. All four flanks. Because if you don't perform, there's nobody else. There's absolutely nobody else. It's very, very painful when a father is putting all of his burden on his kids in his own very life. Source code is a house, a home, where people have the similar kind of pain. And I am growing too old too fast, looking at the way Muslims react to certain things which are required to get the job done. You got to take over source code in less than 5 to 10 years. You got to take over IMS in less than 10 years. And Allah in the Quran told us what the Prophet is here to do, 4 things. You got to do 4 things. Not 5, not 3, 4. I'm going to send you in your student portal the curriculum of this course within this week. Go through it. You'll be going through certain skills and certain attributable training, certain knowledge structures which we're going to teach you, concepts. They're all designed into a string. We will be giving you a totally fresh curriculum, which we did not give the last batches. We will be mixing up a lot of things and giving you a lot more tasks, actually, so many more tasks to do as individuals and as groups. But first, we're going to bring you in together. We're going to talk to each other for the next 3, 4, 5 classes, get to know each other, act like real family, act like a real family. Once we get to know each other, then we're going to start getting work. We're going to convert this into a school first, get the concept straight. Then we're going to convert this into a workshop, get your skills straight. Then we're going to put you back to work, and you're going to come in and bring in the proposed solutions. And we're going to set you off to your real lives, where you're going to implement all of this. You're going to go to IMS, you're going to train everybody, millions of people, hundreds and thousands of people per person. You're going to train yourself and all the skills I'm going to give you, inshallah. I'm going to recite the hadith again. When the Prophet ﷺ stood in the pulpit and he says, have I not delivered you the message? And people said, oh, Rasulullah, you have delivered us the message. And the Prophet ﷺ said, oh Allah, please be my witness to this day that I have delivered your message to these people. And then he said to the people that since you have all the message now, the Quran and the Hadith and the Sunnah, this is the message of the Quran. Go and spread this message to every part of the world. So when you are going to spread this message to people who are not here, across China, Brazil, Alaska, and New Zealand, Central and Northern Asia, to South Africa, when you're going to spread this to the planet, you're going to find people which, by the way, are not going to be Muslims. And you're going to give them the message of the Quran. They're going to understand this better than you guys. So why are they going to get this message better? How? Because they will have mathematics and physics, biology, endocrinology, neurology, psychology, ecology, astronomy, geology. They are going to use that knowledge to decode this message of the Quran, which is the technique we're going to use. And we're going to use all of those subjects. We're going to bring them into the Quran to find out what fits. What fits as the key to unlock every single ayah, which Allah Azza wa Jal says, this is my ayah. This is the code. You are going to decode it. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Source Code and welcome to the track where you're going to take over Source Code. Yours is the only batch. We are going to make sure you guys take over the ownership of Source Code. Nobody else, no other batch is given this option to run things at Source Code. Only you guys will be. Okay? And so I'm really, really looking forward. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.